I'm Peter Haddock, and today we're on site in Ashford in Kent, and I'm here with Steve, who owns SMGC Ltd, who's a groundworks contractor. And
Correct.
Steve, behind me you have your 16-ton Takeuchi with your Engcon tilt rotator and all its EC oil ready solution. So tell me a little bit about the business, but also I believe you went to Plantworks, and this is why we're stood here today.
Yeah. So SMGC, we've been around now for about 10 years, been involved in groundworks all my life. Slowly built up the business, and this is our new purchase, which we're very, very pleased with. We went to Plantworks just last year, or earlier in the year. Saw the Engcon and other tilt rotators and stuff in use, very impressed, and decided then that we needed to obviously have one fitted to our new purchase.
So you're a Takeuchi fan as well, so this is a 16-ton unit here,
16-ton unit, we've got one of their 6-ton units as well. So we wanted to keep going with the Takeuchi brand because it served us very well. And then this was their new 16-ton machine they just brought out. We approached CBL, and Mike there at CBL helped us to the purchase and helped us through the Engcon purchase as well.
Well, what's really good about that is obviously a lot of people have been using this tilt rotator on Takeuchi units, so you know, you can see out there's people using the combination very well.
Correct.
Why the tilt rotator? Because you've been in business for 10 years and you were an operator before as well, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. So I've been involved in plant and machinery since a young lad because my father was a ground worker. So I've always been around plant machinery, learned to drive them at a very young age. But the tilt rotator just takes the machine that step further. It makes it a much more versatile tool. Whilst it's still capable of the breakout force that we need when we're excavating, it gives us a versatility where we don't have to keep moving and repositioning the machine. We can position the machine in one spot and excavate around obstacles by rotating, batter trenches from the one position without having to remove. So the machine movements are down, reduced greatly. So it makes it more cost effective. So the operations are quicker.
And I think we were talking earlier as well about the fact that, you know, you didn't necessarily think about it, but with the lack of movements, there's track wear, which is really expensive.
Which is, isn't it? You know, all these things sort of start to come into play when you think about, well, if we're not moving around, repositioning, so we're not wear and tear, like you say, is less.
And I think where we're also sort of looking is you know, the whole maintenance of a machine when it's in movement is going to be additional hours, so you're putting additional strain on the machine. So with the unit there, you're actually, you know, keeping probably your long-term maintenance costs down, and the machine itself might put in the hours, but actually you might find that it's still a really healthy machine.
Yeah, for sure, it's got to come into play. And the other element to it is when you're not moving the machine around as much, you're not disturbing the ground around you as much.
Oh, of course.
So you know, around excavations, that's very important. And
we're on a very muddy, very wet site here today, aren't we?
The weather hasn't been too favourable.
And with that, how did you and the operators get the hang of it, really? You know, because it's quite new, isn't it?
It's new, and it takes a couple of weeks to get used to the rotation and the tilt, especially when you turn the machine, slew the machine, and you're trying to get yourself set at the right angle. But Chris has got the hang of it now, no problem. I don't get the chance to get in them that much.
Well, I'm sure Chris, as we've seen earlier today, he's not going to let you back in that cab.
No, not on a cold day.
No. But also, you know, from Chris's perspective as an operator, you know, how's that changed his life? There must be sort of less fatigue in it, less worry about people plant interface working around things because of movements reduced.
Well, with the EC oil and the easy change on the Engcon, with the attachments, he just stays in the cab. He doesn't have to get out of the cab, changing your hoses, moving your hoses around. It's just literally drop one attachment, pick up the next attachment. He's got the whacker plate on at the moment, but if he wants to pick up the forks, and the forks that we have, they adjust hydraulically as well in width. So if he has to pick something up that's got a slightly larger span for the fork point, he doesn't have to get out of the cab. They can just automatically hydraulically move from a button in the cab, which is fantastic. Not getting out, moving forks and stuff.
And I think, you know, for me, what's really great about seeing this is we've got a really, you know, tight site here where we are today. There's going to be a Hilton hotel. We've got groundworks going on. We've got piles going in. And so, you know, it is a busy site. And so you know, this machine is doing an awful lot of different work. So you would have had to, for example, have a forklift in to move some of that stuff. We can do it ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so, you know, for me, obviously, there's an additional cost to this. So, you know, there's a commercial element to this. And so what are you looking at when it comes to the commercial impact of this on your business, and obviously what the payback of the investment, etc.? Well,
the payback of the investment, luckily with the finance deals we can get, we can spread the cost initially over the years. But the saving on time, as we've mentioned, it makes a massive impact on the day and the amount the machine can actually physically get done in a day. The amount of manpower that is needed with the machine, again, is greatly reduced, because you're not, if Chris is in the cab and you have, say, someone else helping him change attachments, that's not needed anymore, whereas we would have in the past. The use of the forks, where we'd normally have to be using slings or chains, that makes a massive difference.
And it's a health and safety difference.
And a health
as well,
and safety
difference.
Yeah. So it's fantastic. The whacker plate, compacting, backfilling trenches. You know, whereas before, lifting in whackers or Ramex rollers or things like that, we don't have to worry about that anymore. So, and you don't have an operator operating that. It's a one-man operation, one machine. So it works fantastic.
So fantastic. So what I'm going to say, thank you very much for inviting me down here, looking after me through all of the puddles. It's great to see that businesses like yours that are small contractors, specialist contractors, but man and boy, understanding that you've sat in a digger before and waited for these other operations to happen, whereas now you've got this system here. That's not the case. Far more productive. Productivity is what we need in the UK. We all know that's an issue in construction. Commercially good for you guys as well. And obviously, man, machine, and a new Takeuchi to boot, and everybody's happy.
Yes, exactly.
Great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.